I still remember the first night I took a beta blocker. The room was quiet. Too quiet. My heartbeat, once wild and fast like a runaway train, suddenly felt like it had slowed to a crawl. My hands turned cold. My breathing felt shallow. I sat at the kitchen table with my fingers pressed to my wrist, searching for a pulse that barely answered back. And I panicked. Is my heart giving up? I whispered. See, no one told me what it would feel like, the first time that little white pill started doing its work. They said it would help. They didn't say it would scare me. That night, I didn't feel like I was getting better. I felt like I was fading. But the truth? That pill wasn't hurting me. It was slowing me down, so my heart could rest. So my body could heal. That night marked the beginning of something I didn't expect, a new kind of relationship with my heart. And the person who helped me understand it, who translated the fear into clarity, was a man named Dr. Augusto Ochoa. Calm voice. Steady hands. The kind of doctor who didn't just give instructions, he gave me peace. He wasn't some TV expert or YouTube guru. Dr. Ochoa had spent over 30 years in preventive cardiology, treating veterans, retirees, and folks like me who thought slowing down meant giving up. He believed healing wasn't just medical, it was personal. And what he taught me might just help you too. I didn't understand what was happening inside me. My heart had always been a wild horse, racing, pounding, skipping when it liked. After my heart attack, they said I'd need help calming it down. That's when the beta blocker entered the picture. But no one sat me down to explain what that meant. So when I felt cold, tired, and slow, I thought something was wrong. My neighbor said, "Careful with those pills. They make your heart lazy." And that stuck with me. But I wanted clarity. Not whispers. Not fear. So I booked an appointment with Dr. Ochoa. He didn't talk fast. He didn't use big words. He just pulled out a pen and started drawing on a napkin. Imagine your heart like a car engine, he said. Beta blockers lower the RPM. They let your engine rest, especially after a scare. He explained how beta blockers slow down the heart rate, reduce blood pressure, and prevent another heart attack. It's not making you weaker, he said. It's taking pressure off the system. And then he looked me straight in the eye. If your pulse is 55 and you're breathing fine, that's not danger. That's protection. And just like that, my fear started to melt. When I left Dr. Ochoa's office, I didn't go straight home. I walked around the park near the clinic. The sky was a little gray, and the wind was sharp. But inside, something had settled. For the first time in weeks, I didn't feel like a ticking time bomb. I felt curious. Curious about this pulse of mine. So I sat down on a bench, pulled out a napkin from my coat pocket, and tried to do exactly what the doctor had shown me, /N. 2 fingers. On the wrist. Count for 60 seconds, /N. I couldn't feel anything. I switched wrists. Still nothing. I started to panic again. Do I even have a pulse? But then I remembered what Dr. Ochoa said, don't rush. Breathe. Your heart's not going anywhere. So I slowed down. Closed my eyes. Breathed in deeply. And there it was. A tiny thump. Then another. 62 beats per minute. I didn't know if that was good. But I knew it was mine. And that made all the difference. The next morning, I tried again, this time in the kitchen, before breakfast. I sat still. No TV. No noise. 60 seconds, just me and the rhythm under my fingertips. This became my routine. Coffee. After the pulse. Phone calls. After the pulse. It wasn't about obsession. It was about connection. And I started to learn what my resting heart rate was telling me. On mornings when I'd slept well and felt peaceful, it stayed around 58 to 62. After a rough night or a stressful call from my daughter, it jumped to 70 or 72. It wasn't just a number. It was a mirror. And here's the truth Dr. Ochoa reminded me of. A good pulse isn't just in the range. It's in the context. Meaning, 55 beats per minute when you're calm and rested? Perfectly fine. 92 beats when you're anxious and dehydrated? Not alarming, but worth noting. That's why I started keeping a simple journal. Just a few lines each day. Tuesday, 61 BPM, slept great, feeling light. Thursday, 68 BPM, woke up tense, headache. Over time, I saw a pattern. Not just in numbers, but in myself. My pulse became more than a beat. It became a companion. A soft voice that told me when to rest, when to hydrate, when to pause. And it helped me feel less afraid of my heart, and more in tune with it. When I started tracking my pulse, I didn't know what I'd find. I just knew I wanted to feel more connected. So I opened a small spiral notebook and wrote 3 words on the first page. Listen. Learn. Log. That notebook became my anchor. Not a medical record, not a science project, just a quiet place where I could meet myself, once a day, through the rhythm of my own heart. I called it my 7-day pulse log. Day 1, Monday. 72 beats per minute. I hadn't slept well. Tossed and turned all night. My chest still felt heavy from the memory of the heart attack. I was afraid. I remember checking my pulse 5 times that day. Not because I was being cautious, but because I was being paranoid. Every beat felt like a question. Day 2, Tuesday. 68 BPM. I took my beta blocker for seniors at 7:15 a.m. Around 9, I felt a wave of dizziness hit me. Not bad, just unfamiliar. I sat in the armchair by the window, closed my eyes, and breathed. Then I remembered what Dr. Ochoa said. Your heart is adjusting to protection. So I went outside. Walked slowly around the block. 10 minutes. The dizziness faded. My shoulders relaxed. When I came home, I wrote. 68 BPM. Dizziness passed. The sky looked wider after the walk. Day 3, Wednesday. 66 BPM. First time I felt peace while checking. I didn't fear the number, I welcomed it. I placed my fingers gently on my wrist, like greeting an old friend. Counted for 60 seconds. Then made myself coffee. Sat in the sun. And I smiled. Day 4, Thursday. 61 BPM. Light rain. I walked with my umbrella down to the old oak tree near the pond. My steps were slow, deliberate. I listened to the birds. That day, I realized something. Pulse monitoring after a heart attack doesn't just help the doctor. It helps me see again. Day 5, Friday. 64 BPM. No walk today. My knees ached. My daughter called with some difficult news. I felt helpless. But my resting heart rate stayed steady. That was the first day I truly understood. Not all stress shows up in numbers. Day 6, Saturday. 59 BPM. My best day. I slept in. Woke up slowly. Measured pulse after tea. Calm, unbothered. Jazz playing, dogs snoring, sun on the plants. I caught myself humming. Day 7, Sunday. 63 BPM. Church in the morning. Met a friend also using heart rate medication for the elderly. We compared our logs. We laughed. 2 old people, tracking rhythm, finding peace. That evening I wrote. 63 BPM. My heart isn't healing alone. That 7-day pulse log became a mirror. Not just of my numbers, but of my habits, my healing. And by day 7, I no longer felt like a patient. I felt like a partner with my body. Some ideas settle deep in your bones over time. You hear them often enough, and they start to sound like the truth. For me, those ideas were about my heart. About pills. About pulse. But the older I got, the more I realized, some of those ideas were never true to begin with. So today, I want to share the 3 biggest myths I had to let go, after starting beta blocker for seniors. Myth number 1, a slow heart is a weak heart. I used to believe this with all my heart, literally. When my resting heart rate dropped below 60, I thought, this isn't right. I need to feel the beat. But then Dr. Ochoa asked me, do you feel dizzy? I said no. Do you feel faint, short of breath? Still no. He smiled. Then let your heart rest. It's not weak. It's efficient. That day, I wrote in my log, 59 BPM, and strong. Myth number 2, if the pill makes you tired, it's bad for you. I used to blame every yawn on my heart rate medication. But Dr. Ochoa explained. In the beginning, beta blockers shift the balance. Your body slows down, and that feels unusual. But it doesn't mean harm. The fatigue passed after 2 weeks. What stayed? My heart rhythm. My sleep. My calm. So I learned, a little tired, can mean a lot safer. Myth number 3, you can tell everything by your blood pressure monitor. Now this one. Dangerous. I used to think, if my BP is okay, I'm okay. But one night, my pressure read normal, but I felt uneasy. Tight chest. Restless legs. That was when Dr. Ochoa told me. The numbers are a snapshot, not the full story. That's why we also track pulse monitoring after a heart attack, not just BP. Because sometimes, the heart whispers warnings the cuff can't hear. Letting go of those myths didn't make me weaker. It made me wiser. And these days, I don't chase numbers. I follow the rhythm. I listen. I adjust. And I trust that slowing down, just a little, might be the very thing that saves me. There was no trumpet. No medal. No moment when the sky opened up and said, congratulations, Harold. You've made it. But on the morning of day 8, I sat by the window, coffee in hand, and I felt something shift. Not in my body, but in my story. For the first time in years. I wasn't waiting for something to go wrong. I wasn't watching my pulse like a guard on duty. I was simply being with it. My resting heart rate that morning was 60 BPM. I didn't write it down. I just closed my eyes, smiled, and said quietly, I trust you. Because here's the truth, no one told me when I first started the beta blocker. Healing doesn't always feel like triumph. Sometimes it feels like stillness. Like silence after a long noise. Like exhaling after years of holding your breath. My little pulse log started as a checklist. But it ended up becoming a conversation. Between me and my heart. Not to control it. Not to fear it. Just to walk alongside it. Beat by beat. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you. Because this wasn't just a story about beta blockers. It was a story about slowing down, listening in, and learning to live again with a gentler heart. And if you'd like to start your journey, just like I did, we've created a simple 7-day pulse log for seniors that you can download below. You don't need anything fancy. Just 2 fingers, 60 seconds, and a little quiet each day. If you're already using heart rate medication after 60, this could help you feel more in tune, less in fear. And if you feel ready, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. Tell me your resting heart rate today. Or just say, Harold, I'm starting today. And if you'd like a little support, we have a warm, quiet space waiting. Our Facebook group, Living Well with Harold. It's not about fixing everything. It's about walking this path, together.